Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, Head Currency Analyst. In this video, we're going to be looking at the Forex market wrap. We're going to be highlighting the news that happened this week and some of the charts that we discussed in the week ahead analysis video. So actually a big shock towards the end of the week. We had huge jobs numbers coming in for the US, and it was a trifecta of positive news. Now, this does often lead to a very strong US dollar outcome, and that's what we saw today. Dollar really rebounded and pushed back to the upside from a key area of support right after this NFP data. So you can see here we were expecting 250,000 jobs, which was a decline of a previous number, but you can see we got a revised positive number to 398. And we also had a jump up to 528, which is a big number considering that the estimates were 250. We saw a drop in unemployment and an increase in the average hourly earnings. Now, what that suggests is that the jobs that were created were of better quality. So again, that could kind of feed into a positive outlook on the economy. So more problems here for the Fed maybe in the near future, because that is quite a strong jobs data. The Fed recently talked about jobs coming in a little bit softer, and their main focus was no longer employment, but it was price stability instead. So interesting data coming out of here from the US. We did have some other US data this week. We had the ISM manufacturing PMI and the ISM services PMI, both beating estimates as well. Especially the services PMI came in much higher. So good week for the dollar on a data standpoint. So expecting some dollar strength in the near future could be what we look at. So in other news, we had two rate statements as well. We had Bank of Canada rise interest rates to 1.85%, 50 basis points jump from 1.35%, and that actually saw the Australian dollar weaken after that data, largely because that data was expected. Same with the pound. Had a 50 basis points hike here from 1.25% to 1.75%. Interesting thing from the Bank of England Governor Bailey talking about recession. Okay, so he said the UK is, if not in a recession, or going into a recession very soon. So that was quite a bit of shocking news from the Bank of England Governor. Moving on then to some of the charts that we looked at this week. One of them was pound. We were expecting some downside this week, and we did get that. We looked at the sort of overall structure of the market, and despite us having this head and shoulders pattern, we expected price to maybe come and retest the neckline of that pattern. You got that nice 1.2 level sitting below as well, and price dropped aggressively down to that level today due to the NFP report. So it'll be interesting to see how price reacts here now because of that positive dollar data. Are we going to see buyers stepping back in at that neckline, and are we going to see a move back to the highs or even break through the highs? That's what we need to watch out for next week. Moving on to dollar yen then. So dollar yen, interesting market this week. We kind of talked about the move to the downside, but also yesterday we were expecting a continuation of that move, and we didn't quite get that. Price did form a bit of a triple top pattern, which is we were expecting maybe a move to the downside. We were starting to see it, but NFP just came in a little bit too early towards that sort of move to the downside. I think, if it was earlier in the week and price was back at these highs, we probably would have had a better opportunity to see price trade back to the 131.50. But instead, NFP numbers came in. We broke back to the upside. We've cleared that 4-hour high now, so it looks like we're probably going to see some further upside from dollar yen. If we take a look at the weekly chart, price has just come back up into this previous structure highs, so we could expect a move back towards the swing highs here now for dollar yen. Similar with euro yen. We talked about euro yen because euro was the weakest on the strength meter and the yen was the strongest, so we expected some downside this week, which we did initially get. price dropped to the downside from this day in here, and then price found support back at previous weekly highs, weekly lows, and we had that common pattern price change trend again. So when you start seeing price break those highs, the likelihood of price moving back lower is less likely. And it looks like we could probably trade back up to the 139 now for euro yen. Finally then, gold, expected a little bit of a jump up into this resistance level this week, or even $1,800. Got very close. We got to about $1,795, so $5 short of the overall sort of expected target of $1,800. But nonetheless, we identified that we're in that downward trend, but in a retracement phase. We can know that because price is making higher highs and higher lows on the 4 hour. If this was to start pushing back to the downside, let's say, because of the overall trend of this market, then what I would be looking for is a lower high, lower low pattern on the 4 hour. That would give me the opportunity to look for a move back to the downside, but we don't have that yet. Price could still break through and move higher, dependent on sort of how the dollar plays this week and the risk sentiment in the market. But dollar strength is back in at the moment, so we could expect maybe the price to pull back and get a retest of those range lows. So I hope you enjoyed the content this week anyway. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more Forex trading content, and I'll speak to you in the next video.